of the Papa's Basement Show. This is just the YouTube preamble, so you know that I'm going to talk for a second. Bill is going to continue to send dirty messages to me via the phone he's messing around on. And then we're going to play an intro song, and that will be the actual podcast intro. I want you, if I am too fucking lazy to edit the intro of this video, which I will be, just putting that out there. I'm not going to go back and do YouTube edit anything. This is going to be the beginning of a video. And then I'm like, why did I get 25 viewers? Because it's so damn professional, Bill. So damn professional. All right. So we're going to kill this. We're going to play the intro music. And that's that. Stick with us while we go weirdly silent for like 10 seconds. Thank you. I like this one, Bill. I like this. This is a group no one knows, and it's an old group, so I don't get to be like cool like you were when you're a kid and you listen to music that no one knew, and then you're like, oh, it's this group that was formed 18 months ago. Of course, this is like a 20-year-old group, but they never broke, and I like this song. This is a Judgment by V&V Nation for Victory Not Vengeance. How pretentious. But I like this. It sounds like what the Bulls used to come out to, right? Like Serious by the Alan Parsons.
Yeah, close. Now, last time I was in here, it was your brother's band.
Yeah, it was my brother's band. I got Apple Music in the past couple weeks.
Oh, there you go. So
again,
now you're experimenting with everything.
I'm the coolest kid in 2004. And this is a band I used to listen to like in '99, and I just grabbed like their entire catalog. I'm like, that is a lot of albums I did not pay you for, sirs. So I grabbed this. This is like good starting to jog type music when you're just getting your fat ass in the gym. Yeah,
stretch out.
Like, oh, you know, I can picture it now. You would be the Jordan and the Pippen. I would be the Horace Grant with the corrective goggles on.
I guess if Sven were here, he'd be Dennis Rodman of our Chicago.
Yeah, he'd be the worm. He would be the worm. He could sass things up a little bit. I could see Sven putting on a dress and marrying himself. That kind of stuff. Couldn't see him having sex with Carmen Electra, but you know, no one's perfect for the role.
The analogy doesn't always fit.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman was so many things to so many people.
That's right.
No one can be all that.
Interesting side note: I once saw Dennis Rodman naked. I'll just leave it at that.
Really?
I did.
Wow. Now you got to explain a little bit. I mean, what was this?
I worked for the Washington Wizards.
Okay.
Bullets/Wizards for 3 years. I was there when the name changed. So they were the Bullets, and then they became the Wizards.
There when they decided to just be awful.
Yeah.
When they flushed great heritage down the toilet.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. I wasn't part of the decision.
Yes.
I just happened to be working for the organization at the time, and I did the pregame and the postgame on the radio. And one of the things that we used to have to do is you'd go and do some interviews postgame, you know, to have for later on.
Naked interviews, yeah.
Well, usually wasn't that way. But of course, when the Bulls are in town, you're not going to get Pittman. You're not getting Jordan. You're not.
Yeah.
So I walked in and their PR guy, and I was like, hey, you know, we'd like to get somebody in with the Wizards, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, sure. And I was like, look, I know Pippen ain't doing it. Jordan ain't doing it.
Uh-huh.
So he literally turned around and said, hey, anybody want to talk to the Wizards radio guy? Silence, ignore. I mean, just like, I'm like getting ready to just slink my way out of there because I'm like, this is a bad idea.
You're like, this is my position on the showbiz totem pole.
And I'm like, hey, thanks for trying. And then from in the back, because he goes, come on, guys, somebody needs to do this. I hear Rodman go, I'm doing it, but I'm not changing. And I was like, okay. He's like, you really want to deal with that? I'm like, I don't care.
You're thinking he's got like a Clinton Portis sheriff gonna get you type thing going, possibly, right?
Yeah,
it's
I wasn't sure.
He's crazy
and so I start walking back there, and the guy's like, you don't have to do this. He's like, I can. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna be that guy that's like, how dare you? How dare you? I was like, he's just doing this to be Dennis Rodman. So yeah, he was sitting on.
Would you say he was naked to get a rise? Cheeky.
Perhaps. So he was sitting there in front of his locker with the towel. The towel was around his neck.
Nice.
It's the only place that anything was clothed. So I stood there next to him and did the interview and maintained not only eye contact, but I probably stared at the locker above his head more than anything else.
And
did like 3 minutes and then said, thank you, Dennis. Good luck with the year, and walked out.
First of all, kudos to Dennis Rodman for drinking or dressing like a Disney character, like where he's just dressed torso up.
Yeah, not even. I mean, just draped.
Yeah.
The towel around his neck, like
pretty
you'd
much-
see the
he
old
was-
guy in the gym.
Yeah, he's like Baloo from Tailspin, but he took off the aviator jacket.
exactly.
It's literally just
Yeah.
something around the neck.
Yeah.
Also, good on you for not staring at his piece, because like I'm all man, as they say. I like the ladies, as that's pretty irrefutable, despite the fact I'm not getting any lately.
Right.
But I would have been staring at that piece like it's a celebrity dick. Like if I see,
I know. You know what? Everybody says I'm like, I just was so in the moment of I'm not gonna do anything to it. You just because you don't want to you don't want to stare as you do the interview because he's the last thing you want to do is while you're doing the interview to have him go, "Hey man, eyes up here."
Yeah,
and like
eyes are up here.
Have to edit that out because that's not gonna sound good when we play it back.
That would be my kind of sports station where it's just 5 to 8 segments on what Rodman's piece was like.
Right.
That is that is unfortunate because again, I just for comparison's sake, and I'm always coming up short. Anytime anyone is naked in the locker room, I'm like, well, you've invited this upon yourself. And I will look just to be like, am I bigger? Am I smaller? Usually smaller, but hey. And I need to start working out in Chinatown. That's what I'm saying.
There you go. Yeah, I've never spent that much time like going to the gym, like a public gym, like to be in a locker room. I mean, I played baseball in high school and everything. So I mean, I've been in locker rooms. I've been in tons of locker rooms doing George Mason stuff. So that kind of the nakedness doesn't bother me. I've seen plenty, been around plenty, don't care. But I'm always oddly weirded out by guys who are comfortable enough, like to go work out, say at a Lifetime Fitness or a Bally's or pick your gym that everybody pays to go to. I don't care, 24-hour fitness. I'm always weirded out by the guy, not that goes and takes a shower. I get that. You got to go to work, whatever. I'm weirded out by the guy who will then come back and sit down in front of his locker, like completely naked.
Oh, just bare ass on the wood. And you're like, hey, I changed my sneakers on that.
Not only that, and then we'll pick up his phone and start flipping.
It's a power move.
Dude, throw some boxers on at least.
It's a power move, I think, especially if you're not that hung, you're walking around, you're like, this is my little dick, and if I'm that brazen about this, like, I will eat your corporation alive.
I guess.
That's all I can read into it. Because, I don't like pulling out my piece. My first experience with public nudity was Cub Scout camp, where they forced us all to shower together.
Yeah, I was never a Boy Scout, Cub Scout.
Oh, yeah.
Any of that. So I've heard those stories, and I'm always like, what?
It was legit. You're like 10. Prisoners. Why? No, yeah, prisoners get more privacy than these guys did. It was just a cemented barracks, like a pedophile's dream, by the way. Just like an 8-foot wall.
Yeah, just in like maybe a concrete box. With shower heads.
I mean, I have to assume in 2018, if they've got any decency, if they've got any heart, they're sweeping this thing for bugs. Like it's the Democratic National Convention type stuff. Exactly. Yeah, like they're building the new CIA building. Yeah. That level of bug sweeping.
I mean, if I had someplace to go, I would shower there. I didn't have a problem showering at the gym. But again,
you come out with a towel around you because you're a
you.
decent human being.
Yes, because it's not that I'm modest. It's that look, other people don't want to look at that. I'm not in great shape, so it's not like I'm strutting around flexing and going, "Hey, check this out." I get that anyway, but yeah. I'm walking into the shower. I got a towel around my waist. I hang it up on the little hook next to the shower. I do my shampooing. I, clean myself off. I dry off. And then that towel goes right back around my waist. So I walk to my locker and pull some boxers out and put the boxers on. And then I drop my towel. I'm not even going to give the bare ass look as I'm putting on my boxers if I can help it because nobody wants that.
My dad, he grew up in Greece. So he was like really European about it. Yeah, he would just walk out and like, I'll never forgive my dad for not bequeathing me those good genes because like my dad just had a big giant piece and like I don't have that. Whatever DNA came from the side that doesn't have the big dick genes, like I thankfully reaped from that. But he would just strut out of the shower like all the time, like
at your house or just
at my house. Yeah. So, but like even that to me would be weird. Like if I have kids, I wouldn't want them to see it. But if I had a huge dick, I would. If I had a huge dick, I would want them to the same way. Like I try to be funny, so I'd probably joke with my kids.
Right.
So I would want them to appreciate whatever talents I did have. So yeah, if you just walk walk out or your robe flops open. You're like, oh, there's daddy's huge piece. This is what I have in this world, children.
Yeah.
And he got away with it because, yeah, he was just giant like that. I was, that cultural thing never rubbed off on me. I learned that nudity was wicked and to be hidden from my white bread peers early on. So I never did that. I can remember there was a beach house that had a little side shower thing that we did when we were kids.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And I look back now and I realize I showered in that in the nude, and that wasn't necessary, Bill. It's just there to rinse the ocean.
You're supposed to get the sand and salt water.
Oh no, no,
that's okay.
My dad was just like, just get naked. It's a shower. Don't be weird about it. And so yeah, with like pretty much the Bethany Beach equivalent of Route 28 right next to it, I would just strut out with my little like 6-year-old dong in the wind.
Trust me, I'm sure they've seen a lot worse up there.
I guess, yeah. I was a sexy 6-year-old. I'll give myself
there
that.
You go.
Yeah, for the 1 in 100.
Maybe you should have been showering up at Rehoboth. It might have gone over better.
Rehoboth was every
clientele.
Night. Oh yeah, no, that was my every beach vacation for like 6 years as a kid. We would do Bethany at day and then Rehoboth at night. But I guess not the gay quadrants of Rehoboth.
Okay,
I don't know what makes it a gay beach per se. Like there was just an arcade I went to every night.
Oh,
like,
there you go.
My dad must have wanted to kill me because we just played some game where he would smash with a huge mallet a little
the whack-a-mole.
No, it was like this weird, there were these rubber frogs that you would launch onto these
right on the lily pads.
Yeah, the mildew cake lily pads. And like a year or two ago I said, screw it, Mom. You hit this age with your parents where it's an unspoken thing where you're like, let's just take you to all the places we went to, and then it's
just
like
to show you how bad it was.
Yeah, I'll be like, you might not be here that much longer. So let's look at the things you did when you were younger and more livey. And so we went to that arcade, and they had those same dirty ass rides.
Good
I mean, untouched. The amount of DNA that must be on these things. Like you could take a cotton swab and clone a Roman legion from this thing. Holy hell.
Or Legionnaire's disease.
Yeah, it was just
either way.
That same old crap was there. And I was like, someone here saw my little baby piece like 30 years ago. And I hope it is a treasured memory. Like, why is this kid naked on the side of a road?
You know, you see all sorts of stuff at the beach.
You do.
So
you do. Like horseshoe crabs. That was supposed to get more reaction than it did. Not a fan of the arthropods, are you?
You know.
Are you, Bill?
Guess not.
It's all good. Everyone is Papa's Basement. I'm John Papa Giorgio. He is guest host Bill Rowland with a massive and storied radio career in this DC area. I have a massive and storied career for clogging Shoney's toilets.
I haven't been to a Shoney's in years.
That's because there's 4 left, all 4 in Rehoboth Beach.
Is that where they are?
Shoney's is the official bear breakfast of the gay community. The bear themed breakfast. Yes.
I had no idea.
I have. I
don't know why you would know that.
Oh, I made literally all of it up. But yeah, Shoney bear.
Right.
No, Shoney. I loved Shoney's when I was a kid. I would go there with my grandma.
Right.
One time I took some ratty ass bitch I was having sex with, and I convinced her I was taking her to Shoney's. And her reaction should have let me know that she wasn't the one. Also, the fact that I was like balls deep in her like 24 hours within meeting her, raw dog, that should have convinced me she wasn't the one.
Yikes.
But the Shoney's thing.
Have you been tested?
I've been tested 100 times since, man. Yeah.
All right.
They never test you for the fun crap. In Fairfax County, you used to get tested for free for AIDS, chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis. And then El Capitan Trump came to power, and the last time I got my dick treated, it was $81 for all of that.
Yikes.
But I did get to pee in a cup instead of getting a cotton swab. So he gives and he takes. It all balances out in the end.
I tell you what,
I'm even Stevens.
There are times when I look back and I think, God, I wasted some of my college by not just being a complete
man whore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Literally 20% of my active thought processes is dedicated to all the women I could have banged when I was young and stupid. And
I don't
shot it down.
And I don't even know. There is one girl that I know for a fact when I was in college that absolutely could have had sex
Angelina
with.
Jolie.
No. And didn't do it for whatever reason. I think I might have had a girlfriend
or a
somewhere else. I don't remember. But I always think, I'm like, "Yeah, I blew that." And then you're like, other times, like, I might have been able to get it. And so I'm like, yeah, but I never had to have somebody take a Q-tip.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't want that because
It's not even like a playful Q-tip. It was like legit on a guitar string, as I say on this show over and over. It was a metal pipette almost with a cotton swab at the end.
And that's so that counterbalances all of those thoughts. I go, yes, but I've never had to do the 2 weeks of penicillin.
It's 5 seconds of agony. It's completely worth it.
Plenty.
It's completely worth it. It's not like they put coal up there. It's not like they sealed off the mine shaft. It's just mild discomfort.
But if somebody screws something up and it snaps
well, that's why it was made of metal, Bill, so it wouldn't splinter.
Yeah, I don't know. Just
they didn't shave it down from the old Bethany boardwalk. All right, it's just metal, good, clean, sterile metal. Speaking of STD tests and promiscuity, we are here today to mourn the death of one Burt Reynolds. One Burt Reynolds, man.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about Burt Reynolds in a while. I mean, why would you?
No one had.
And then I'm looking back, like went to his IMDb page because I was like, okay, knew we were going to talk about this, so I should probably, bone up on some of my Burt Reynolds stuff.
I should have too.
Yeah, but it's fine. He had been doing movies. Obviously, I think it might have been straight to DVD or whatever for the last decade, and so I've never heard of any of them or seen any of them. But he was working still.
All right,
he was supposed to work on the new Tarantino movie, and hadn't gone and shot his role yet.
Well,
so I mean, he'd been doing stuff that I had no idea about. But I do give him credit. You're talking about STDs. He was one of the guys. Remember when Charlie Sheen came out and talked about having AIDS?
Yes.
Reynolds was one of the guys that came out and said, "You got what you deserved. If you screw around like that, it's going to get you," and it got you. So I give Burt credit. I imagine Burt obviously had his share of women because, let's face it, in the 70s and early 80s, he was Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, and he banged everything. I mean, even famous-wise, yeah.
But I'm guessing Burt was a condom guy.
I don't think he was. I
think he was. No kids other than he had an adopted son, I think.
With Lonnie
Anderson. Yeah. But all the starlets all those years and never one kid and never one rumor about having to go take some chick to get an abortion. I mean, maybe it's because it's a different era. Like now you would hear absolutely if he ended up getting somebody pregnant or whatever. Back then, I guess you wouldn't because they could keep it a little bit more quiet.
Well, yeah, you could. I mean, for God's sake, back in the day, you could get them to not shoot FDR from below the waist.
Well, true, but then
if you didn't know what was going on, you would just be like, he's a lazy man.
That's about 35 more years back than Burt Reynolds hanging out with Sally Field and everybody else.
Yes.
But no kids, no issues. You never really heard. I mean, there were some people that badmouthed Burt, but not very many.
Were condoms like a huge thing back then? I thought like you kind of just winging a prayer back then.
No.
Because you're like, look, in 30 years, they're going to invent AIDS to kill the blacks and the gays. But
AIDS started early 80s.
Yes.
That was Burt's heyday.
Really?
You got to remember, late 70s, early 80s, Burt Reynolds was the man.
Yeah, but see, I think it was just luck of the draw type stuff. Like, I don't think David Lee Roth wore condoms, and he had sex with a percentage of the population.
Yeah.
And he's still alive and walking. Like, if I had to lay money, David Lee Roth done got herpes. But
I bet he's probably been swabbed more than you have.
Yeah,
easily.
Exactly. While singing Yankee Roast the entire time.
Could be right.
Yes.
But I for whatever reason, I just feel like Burt was, and I don't know. I mean, I think he was banging a lot of these starlets, but he also talked about for years how he had been in love with Sally Field, and she was the one that got away, and he had that long-term relationship with Lonnie Anderson. I think he was, yes, absolutely a sex symbol, and probably could have had most women had he wanted to. I don't know that he did. I don't know that he was just walking around and showing up places and being like, "I'm Burt Reynolds, who's fucking me tonight."
He wasn't like, "Who wants to sex Matumbo?"
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. I think at a certain point, if there isn't like a giant hole in your soul, you do get slightly bored with it. Like you're like, I could just bang all of you, and it doesn't matter.
Right.
But if you see an attractive enough woman, Like it's like being Superman.
But he had Lonnie Anderson, who at the time was
yeah,
she was the poster
that
everybody wanted.
I always thought Lonnie Anderson had a weird ass dome piece.
Yeah, you're right.
Weird hair, effing face. Yeah,
well, weird hair too. That was the other thing.
Was that the cotton candy old blonde bitch hair kind of?
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, she had a great pair of jugs, to use the biblical term.
There you go.
But yeah, I always thought she was a little effed in the face, again, to use the biblical term.
But it's interesting to see he didn't have a set or a particular type, because Lonnie Anderson, Sally Field.
Yeah.
I mean,
see, I would in that equation probably go with the Sally Field.
I'm with you, yes.
Because she's going to be the better screw.
She's going to work harder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like Lonnie Anderson's just going to be like, look at my jugs, I'm Lonnie Anderson. Did I mention I'm Lonnie Anderson? She's not going to do much. Sally Field is like a weird offbeat chick. Like, yeah, she's going to do stuff to you.
She's Gidget.
Yeah, it's going to get weird. She's going to blow you in the flying nun hat. It's going to get crazy up in that piece.
Could get strange.
Yeah, I like it. I'm going through his filmography. A lot of voiceover stuff near the end.
Tons, yeah.
Shangri-La Suite. He was in Saints Row the Third, one of the video games.
And he also did.
He was Mayor Burt Reynolds in that. So
right. He also did a Grand Theft Auto, and I don't remember which one. It might have been 3 or 4, where he did voice work.
He's an Archer. He's an American Dad.
Yeah.
My name is Earl. All right, it was okay for him.
That's what I'm saying. The last decade or so, when you'd have been like, Burt Reynolds, he's 78. What's he doing now? Well, when he was 78, he was still working a lot more than a lot of people.
He was living better than us. Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Absolutely. For my money, Burt came onto my psychological radar through SNL, through a lot of people talking about like we had what's his face, Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald is a great Burt Reynolds,
doing an incredible Burt Reynolds. Yep. Yeah, one of those impressions that isn't a perfect impression, like it's not perfect mimicry, but he creates
a great
like
impression.
A character.
Yes.
Yeah, so
the impression of Burt was what we all. It wasn't Burt Reynolds; is what everybody just thought Burt Reynolds would be like.
Exactly.
So it's a great quote unquote impression, like you said. It's not a great mimic; it's a great impression,
which
of
I
what
think
Reynolds
is what he is. Because if my favorite show, Larry Sanders Show, I don't know if you were big on it. It was on HBO for a long time. It was Gary Shandling's thing.
Yep.
There's an episode arc where Gary is sick. They initially have Hank Kingsley fill in, and he's such an F up. They try to get Burt in, and I think Burt does fill in for like a break or two, and he's just a dick to everyone. Like Artie comes in, played by Rip Torn, tries to bond with him, and he's like, I think Burt says he's been divorced 3 times already. He's like, I've been divorced 4. And Burt's response is just like, yeah, who gives a shit? You know, just like off the cuff, like immediately changing the subject. I don't give a damn. And I never saw anything that didn't indicate he wasn't something of an ass, but I respect the dude. You read about his past. He started off as like an athlete.
Yeah, he played at Florida State. Football player at Florida State.
His dad was like kind of like a sheriff or something like that, legit. So just like a bottomless hole of like, I'll never be enough for this man type stuff. Like I've never heard someone who was the sheriff's kid and they're like, yeah, my dad loved me. We did those little hand turkeys a lot.
Right.
A lot of painting clouds on my walls. Not a lot of sheriffs like that.
Sheriff Andy Taylor did a fine job raising Opie, so I'm not going to say that you're wrong.
The career that Opie has had.
There is that one example.
Did a great job.
But I mean, you look at what.
Don't downplay Aunt B's influence. That's all I ask.
Fair point. I mean, you look at what he did from Deliverance, which I think was 1972,
when he silently watched his friend get raped. No.
Yeah. Well, it happens.
Deliverance is one of those first films when I was like 13, 14. Starting to watch my own stuff that I heard referenced like on Don and Mike, things like that. Like everyone hears the Deliverance rape scene. So I'm like, Mom, get the VHS of Deliverance. And
Mom, the meatloaf and the Deliverance.
Exactly. Yeah. Bring them both. We're having a slumber party.
What is she doing? I never know what she's doing. Yeah.
And you just got this group of friends together, at least I did. And you're all like laughing, waiting for the rape scene to happen, and instead it's this terrifying hillbilly movie,
right? And you're like,
the rape scene is way longer than you think it's going to be. You're like, holy God, will they stop raping him? Could this guy finish a little faster? He is savoring this. And then he finally gets crossbowed through the chest by Burt.
Yes, and that's the thing when you watch that movie, you forget. I mean, that's the scene that everybody talks about because it's been made famous, but it's actually a pretty good,
fantastic
job
film.
by him. I mean, dramatic acting, did a good job. And then that guy goes on to Smokey and the Bandit, where he's just the. Did you ever see any of the Smokey and the Bandit?
I saw Smokey and the Bandit 1. I've maybe seen Cannonball Run 1.
Right, yeah, Cannonball 2.
I didn't watch the next 6.
Yeah, you don't have to watch that. But I mean, you go from that to Smokey and the Bandit, and then to the one that got him the Oscar nomination, Jack Horner.
Yes, and Boogie Nights. Now,
tremendous.
You're collapsing like 20 years of his career. Like pretty much, he was like the Hebrews in the desert for a good 20 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when was Boogie Nights?
Boogie Nights was 98, 99.
Is it that?
I think it was 98. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna die soon. We don't have much life.
I've realized that. I realized that. But so he went
97.
Okay.
Holy God.
So in
joint plot, you and me.
What's that?
Joint plot, you and me.
Big mausoleum with a statue.
Exactly. Sure. Big microphone on it. Nice and tasteful.
So he went, I want to say the last, I don't know, major role. I'd have to go back and look, but like,
he was making money end of the 70s. I think 5 years in a row I read. End of 70s, start of 80s. Yeah, 5 goddamn years in a row.
But I want to say one of the last ones he did, probably early 80s, 83, 84 was probably the last time we were like, wow, Burt Reynolds.
And it just fell off a cliff for him.
And then you never heard from him again. And then he shows up in Boogie Nights and everybody's like, haha, Burt Reynolds. You're like, oh shit, he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's great.
We forgot that, oh yeah, back since it was 98, 26 years ago in Deliverance, he really could act. And then he did all these things where he's basically just playing Burt Reynolds. You know, he's just being that guy that everybody wanted to hang out with in those, you know, Cannonball Run movies and everything else. And then he goes and does Boogie Nights, and you're like, oh yeah, he's freaking good.
Yeah, yeah. Is it calling a Carmelo Anthony type thing? Where he'll take off most nights, but once in a while he'll ball out. And you're like, oh yeah.
But the thing is,
he was kind of mentioned with LeBron.
I think the reason that people, again, I'm probably even not old enough to really appreciate Burt Reynolds because in the late 70s, I was like 8, 9.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw those movies because my parents would watch the movies. So they'd take you to see them. I was like you. I didn't see Deliverance until probably I was 15, 16, years later, that kind of stuff.
He watched it with a trusted priest.
That's right. But I think looking back, I think everybody kind of liked him in America because he always looked like he was having fun.
Yeah.
Like no matter what, on screen, you just go, the dude's just having fun.
He was just screwing around, making movies, getting a paycheck, winking at the audience,
right? Like
banging tail,
right? I
mean, it seems like a decent money. Then he squandered all of his cash. I said decent money instead of decent life.
It's all right.
It's okay, Freud. All that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was really just goofing off. He wasn't the most serious, artist of the bunch.
But would you?
He was not Brando. We'll put it that way.
First off, 82 years is a great run. Yes. I would love,
especially if you're like continent the whole time.
Yeah, I would love to have 82 years. That would mean I have another 35 to go. I'm in. I'll take that deal. I've always said I'd like to see 100 because that'd be cool. But
I would too.
I would take 82
because I want a robot body.
Fair.
I want to just be the brain inside the Krang from Ninja Turtles.
Okay,
like yeah,
sure.
I'm sorry, it's a reference that
I remember Teenage Mutant Ninja.
Oh, okay, cool.
Turtles,
yeah, little brain with the tentacles. I want to be that.
But 82 years, A, pretty good run. And B, wouldn't you take that? Wouldn't you take the fact that if you're around for 82 years, don't you want to be able to look back and say, I had fun what I was doing for the entire time? And he looked like he had fun the entire time.
It's a great life, but also if you told me if you were born tomorrow, they would legit be able to upload your consciousness into like a Terminator skeleton and you'd live forever, I would just do that. I'd be fine with being Terminator 654 AB.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, the red glowing eyes, but also I just live in constant fear of death and that it's going to end. I don't know about you. I don't believe in any kind of afterlife. Like I used to, and then my dad died and my grandma died. And I was like, oh, there's no rhyme or reason to this. We just die. It's horrible. And so, yeah, I don't want my consciousness to end. Not that I think it's some profound consciousness. Like I just want to be able to like live forever. Able to quote Ezekiel 25:17 from Pulp Fiction and talk about Don Mattingly and stuff like that and be like Art Monk number 81. Like I just want that to live in the void.
No, I get it because again, thinking about death all the time, it's just at some point, I want to believe there is something beyond this.
Of course.
Because if there's not, that's even scarier.
Yeah.
That it's just one day and it's done.
Oh, no, I mean,
and there's no, you don't realize that it's done. It's just, that's it.
Yeah.
There's no white light. There's nothing else.
I think you just go to sleep.
It just ends.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then what? I mean, it just.
That's it. That's it.
But that's
horrible.
Again, it is.
I literally, the last 30 seconds of every night before I go to bed, that stuff just kicks in my brain. Like I fell asleep and I was watching the Falcons the bet against the Eagles,
right,
as is their wont, because Julio Jones and Matt Ryan, when it comes to like the first 99 yards of the football field,
right,
I don't know if there's anyone I'd rather have. Like they were legit, just like they're soulmates, dude. Like, and I'm not trying to clear up what they got.
No, they have a great connection.
Holy God. But when it comes to that end zone, woo. Oh my God.
The first
That's
drive,
the forbidden zone to those guys.
They didn't even have Julio on the field.
Yeah,
in the first,
he covered so much damn ground for him. He was gassed.
Yeah, they took him on the field for like 2 of the 4 downs or whatever. Like fourth and goal from the 1, you take your best playmaker and put him on. And I tweeted out at the time, I was like, I cannot believe they left their best player on the bench. I am not tweeting the rest of the night on the NFL because this is ridiculous.
Think Steve Sarkisian's a downgrade from Kyle Shanahan? Just a hair.
I turned it off. I didn't watch the rest of it because I was like, I'm not doing this.
So I nodded off.
So frustrated. But
like,
anyway, yes.
I was using the horrible Verizon NFL app.
Okay.
That, I mean, is crashing legitimately every 90 seconds, going, oops, we fumbled. And I'm like, this isn't cute or funny. God damn it. I'm trying to watch the game. And I come back. And they've screwed up 4th down, but they get one more crack at it and they screw that up.
Right.
And so like my first 20 seconds are just like, they'll never win. And then after that filters through and settles down, it's just 30 seconds of existential terror every night where it's like, oh my God, you're going to die. You're one day closer to it. Why haven't you moved to New York? Grow a dick, you spineless fruit. And that's it. And then I go to bed and then I wake up and I'm like, birds singing.
Yeah.
The day is long. And
I guess I want at least at some point, I want the white light. I want to be able to, I want all of that.
I want my old pets.
And I think on some level, I do believe there is something. I don't know if it's heaven or Jesus or whatever. I do believe there is something, some sort of energy that we are all a part of.
I mean, like the worm energy when they eat us and crap us out into trees and stuff.
I don't know. I just feel like there may be something on the other side.
Like people think like when someone mentions they believe in nothing that they like get off to that. I'm like, no, it's terrifying.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I hate it as much as you do, buddy.
I don't know why people would want there to be nothing.
Yeah.
To me, there's something.
Tupac had a great line. My only fear about that. Death is reincarnation. I always thought that was a great line, but because every day I'm trying to build a little more into my hermit shell of like, crap I've learned and things I've gotten better at. And sure, foods I've eaten and dumps I've taken. It's not all great experiences. So it's a little pedestrian, not going to lie. But my little hermit crab shell gets bigger and bigger. And I just, at the end, you don't want to think that it was all for naught. This entire palace of knowledge, dare I say.
Right.
To sound pretentious.
Hey, 1600 SAT. You can be pretentious.
Yes, right. Metaphor. You don't want to think it was just all dust in the wind. That's a term I invented. Kansas stole it from me. You don't want to think it was all for nothing, man, because at that point you're like, there's a lot of raping and pillaging I missed out on. Like I might as well have been a Somali pirate.
Yeah, I mean, and I would be okay with reincarnation because I think if there is reincarnation, most people aren't remembering their prior lives. Yeah. So works out well.
I want whatever's me to live on forever. I don't want to be reincarnated as a cat, because I don't want to lick my ass for
No, I think you're reincarnated. If there is reincarnation, I think you come back as people. I don't think. Is it the Hindus that think that you slowly move up? You
level
scale?
up pretty much. It's like Dungeons and Dragons. Right. You start as a worm, and then your 5th reincarnation.
Is that Hinduism? I don't even know.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't remember. But yeah, I don't think you go from
Catholicism. So
I don't think you go from being a human to then, oh, here you are, you're going to be a trout. I don't know that it works that way.
That's what happened to Hitler.
But then again,
you downgrade if you're a real asshole.
That'd be okay with. If you know
Hitler was a fish.
If he was a fish,
great,
it'd be fine.
Have some Hitler haddock.
I just want there to be something on the other side, even if the memories of this lifetime are washed away.
Oh, I don't want that. No.
I'd be okay with it as long as
something.
As long as
what are you
something.
beyond your memories?
Well, I think there's that energy that you realize that you may not have a quote unquote earthly body, but there is that energy, and you know that you
like a little soul nugget in there.
Yeah, if you want to call it a soul, I don't know how to describe it, but I just feel like when this is done, that I don't want to believe that that's it.
There's pretty much like a little light spark that comes out of you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Goes elsewhere.
I
mean, it would be cool if there's more to us than the sum of our consciousness. I am big on just like that is what you are, the sum of your memories. Everyone in humankind, we're always limited to using the metaphors of our technology,
right,
for whatever reason.
Right.
So like back in, I want to say like the 1900s, they would talk about the subconscious like a steam engine, and like thoughts would bubble up like steam.
Right.
Well, I'm going to go with my kind of terminology, and it's like when you croak, it's just like hitting format, C:, and even that dates me because that's DOS.
Right, I was going to say, that's
pretty much,
a lot of people.
You wipe the hard drive.
Right.
Okay, imagine the feds are coming for all your sweet kid porn, and you microwave the hard drives. That's what I think happens.
It could be.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing that's disturbing, is disturbing the word, or do I want to say depressing? I like to think that I'm not a depressed
What you want to say is, sorry.
Yes, right. Is I look back, I'm one of these guys who's big into like family history and looking back at your family tree. I find it fascinating. Like I'm able to trace on my mother's side all the way back to not the Mayflower, but the second ships that came over, that actually brought some of the prisoners as slaves from like Scotland and Ireland, places like that.
Oh man,
some Scottish
you had white slaves. You come from good money.
Oh no, we were them. No, we didn't have them. We were them. That was in coming over. I think it was on the John and Mary. Maybe
I thought I was
the name of it.
I thought I was moving ahead in life. Now I'm just befriending the children of white slaves.
Yeah, that's all it is. But to be able to trace that back, that's really, really cool to me. And then I realized I don't have kids of my own. My tree stops.
Yeah.
With me. It's over.
It's a powerful thing, isn't it?
So no, it's a terrifying thing, because I look at it and I go, you know what? They probably never thought about it this way, because again, they didn't have the technology, the research. But my ancestors that were up in New England in the 17 and 1800s, probably never thought about 250 years later that somebody would be researching and would be interested in what they did and how they lived and everything else.
Yeah.
And there was somebody looking back 250 years to see what they were doing. 50 years from now, nobody is looking back because there won't be anybody to look back to see what it was that I did or how I lived or anything else.
Except for tens of millions of Papa's Basement listeners.
That may be true, but it's over at that. It is over. It stops with me. I'm that's it. I'm done.
It blows my mind.
Scary
that I had maybe how far back before we were, like breathing fishes on the beach and stuff. But let's say like 20,000 years ago.
Bethany.
Yeah, exactly. 20,000 years ago, there's like some hairy Greek woman, and she's like just outrun a lion, and then that allows her to give birth to my great. And you know what? The line of the Papa Giorgios doesn't end because like of famine or an earthquake. It's because I like watching Ozark season 2 in
by the way.
So I don't have a kid.
Fantastic.
Ozark's great. I mean, it's just hillbilly Breaking Bad, but I don't care. It's good.
Yeah.
I even brought up Ozark with my shrink, and she normally doesn't comment on Graph. She's like, great show, right?
Yeah, it's a great show. But I am fascinated by that, about how you think that we're all here because at some point, thousands of years ago, it just so happened that the saber-toothed tiger didn't kill that guy
My ancestor
or that woman.
Yeah, threw a crippled boy in front of the
Right. I mean,
saber-tooth tiger.
who knows?
Take him.
I mean, I haven't done. I'd like to, but again, as we talked off the air, I'm a bit of a conspiracy guy.
Yes.
To some levels, I don't like Google because I don't like the way they track everybody. I'm not on Facebook because I don't like the way they track everybody. I'm sure I am on other things that they track like crazy. I get it. It's not foolproof. It is what it is. But I'm afraid to. I want to very badly do the DNA ancestry thing where they can tell you where you're from and all that kind of stuff.
It's cool.
But I don't want them to have a registry.
Me neither. My mom did it.
Because when I do commit that murder that I'm probably going to commit at some point.
You work in radio. You will kill. Yeah.
At some point, that's going to happen. I'm going to snap. And then they've got the DNA.
Oh, yeah. You're cooked.
Yeah.
I was cooked the instant my mom did it. Once she did it, I was like, what the hell?
True.
You know, like the ship sailed.
But I would be. So you've done it. So what
SS murder is gone.
What did it come back for you?
So I could be wrong because it didn't mean that much to me. I got like a hint of what I am. I don't think there's anything Western European in me.
Wow.
Like I'm all the dirty stuff that started coming over in 1900 where they were like, yeah, we know you're from Europe, but we're going to treat you like you're black. Let's see, there's some Turk blood in me because my dad's side was in Turkey for like 400 or 500 years.
That's cool.
So my dad was either a quarter or half Turk. There's some Caucasus stuff, which is pretty much Armenian. And then my mom's side, they learned that she is 1/16 Jewish or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so not enough to get me anywhere in show business.
Right.
But it might have been like, I think your mom has to be like a practicing Jew for you to get the Jewish magic. If your dad is Goyim. But I think it was like a mom's thing. So technically, I might. Are you listening to Hollywood? I'm safe. Hire me, please. So that was the funny thing I learned, that I'm like vaguely Jewish. It didn't really have that much of an impact on me, but my mom is now like calling the Holocaust the show.
Oh my God.
She's, she'll see Schindler's List is like horrible what they did to our people. I'm like, okay. All right. All righty.
Yeah, I want to find out because, again, on my mom's side, again, on the one side, her maiden name was Rockwell. It'll get it more British than Rockwell.
Okay.
I mean, that's, and then on the other side, her my grandmother's maiden name was Bean. Again, you can't get much more English.
There's literally Mr. Bean.
Or except we were Scottish because when they came over, they dropped the Mac Bean and just made it Bean. Because somebody wrote it down wrong on a census.
The Mac Bean sounds like a failed product.
Yeah, well, they were the ones that came over on the slave ship, so or the indentured servant ship, as white people call it.
Don't gussy it up, my white slave.
But my dad's side's German.
Okay.
And came over late 1800s. So I can go back. It's not that many generations on my dad's side that they came over.
To go back to the old country.
But the weird thing is, and I never even thought about this stuff. Like my last name, the spelling ROHLAND has always weirded me out. Not to the point that I'm like, there's something wrong.
It is a German spelling, yeah.
But I'm always like, well, I've met other people. It's ROW. I've met people. It's RHO. I had never ever in my life met somebody else that was ROH because it's not.
I think it'd be Roland.
It's not a common last name, obviously. But come to find out, as I'm doing the research, because that's what I do, just to be,
It's so weird you're this into genealogy, but you didn't do the kid thing. Like you're that into the legacy, but then you're again.
Well, I don't know if it's
the buck stops with me.
Yeah, it didn't mean to. Just you can't help who you fall in love with.
That's true.
So it happened. She had 2 kids already. She didn't want any others.
She fell in love with an inanimate statue.
That's right. There you go.
Cannot procreate.
But going back and looking at like the census sheets, our last name wasn't ROH when we came here.
Really?
It was something else. And they again no. It was still like ROW, I think, is what it was, or RHO. Anyway, it was either they changed the letter, transposed the letter, whatever it was, but it is different.
Okay.
And you can see it from one census to the next. It changes. The same person, they did, the census 5 years later, living in the same house, everything, but whoever the census taker was wrote it down differently, and that's your name now.
That
We
is
don't care that it
bizarre.
was spelled this way. That's your name. That happened like in the 1910s, 1920s, something like that. So all of a sudden it was, oh, we were, ROW or RHO or whatever.
Are you
No, you're
sure?
not. You're ROH now.
Was it
we
like
are? Yes.
an ancestor did like a huge debt at the Sahara? It
No,
was just
trust
like,
me.
look, family.
No, I looked into all of that.
Okay.
I honestly thought, okay, why did they change the name? Is there something to it? I went through all those scenarios of were they running? Were they trying to do that? Because again, you don't know what's going on in somebody's life back in the 1910s, 1920s. You have no idea. But nope, it was just simply a misspelling on a census sheet. From that point forward, that was their last name. That was it.
That is mildly
It's
terrifying.
so weird to think how many other people that happened to. I mean, and that's an easy example for me. You think back of like African slaves, they completely lost any identity. You can't
Until
go back.
they got the X. Sorry.
Well, but you know what I mean? We're lucky. I can go back. You could probably trace years back if you wanted to. You could probably find a way to get back
because my dad's like straight from the old country.
He's from where? Greece?
Yeah, he like flew over in like 74 or some crap like that.
Okay, but so you could probably in Greece, Athens, or wherever.
We're lousy pieces of crap. I don't think we keep any records.
But they will.
It's gotta be somewhere. There's got to be
records.
Some Greek who does something.
Oh yeah,
who gives a damn.
Yeah, you don't watch that show. Do you know who you think you know who you are, or whatever it is, or I don't remember the name of it. I think it's Henry Gates does it.
Oh, it's some sort of genealogy show, and and
they go overseas and they find all the different.
Ben Affleck was really like freaked out because he had like slave owning grandparents or something like that. Again,
I don't understand that.
It wasn't you, dude.
Yeah, exactly. If I went back and saw that, I mean, we don't have that in my tree because we're from the north and we didn't have money. And again, we came as indentured servants.
My dad came in the 70s, so if it was in my tree,
that'd be really weird.
Yeah, we're in
that'd be trouble. Really weird. But
it would have been frowned upon even more. In the
exactly.
Yeah.
But if I had found something like, oh, your 5 times great uncle it killed somebody in a duel, I wouldn't feel shame and be like, oh, I gotta seek out that other person's family and be like, I'm really sorry for what my 5-time great uncle did to your. I'd be like, that's kind of weird.
I would demand to be addressed as Sure Shot there on out.
But we have that ability to do that in certain families, but they can't. It just ends. You go back, and in some cases, you probably can't even get back to before the Civil War or even before the 1900s because, unfortunately, people are like, you don't matter. Shouldn't have been that way.
Oh, are we talking slavery stuff?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's kind of freaky to me that they can't do it.
No, I'd imagine if you're black and you came here through slavery, I think, well, they had pretty decent records up and, once you came here, I think the records are pretty good.
But that's my
and then you're gonna need to do the DNA stuff to see if you get DNA hits in the old land.
But even then, they're just gonna be like, oh, you're sub-Sahara, or you're here, or you're whatever.
Well, when
you're not gonna be able to get to, oh, here's the record of your great 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 grandfather being sold by whatever tribe or whatever.
When you do the spit and they use your DNA to make clones to colonize Mars, they also will I can log on and it'll be like this person could be your cousin, this person might be like your granddad type stuff. Yeah. So if but
that's people that are living or just a generation or two back, right?
Well, it's just other people who did the little spit in the swab and sent it in.
But I guess my point is that wouldn't matter for somebody whose ancestors were sold here as slaves because you'd be like, oh, you could be so-and-so's 8th cousin. Well, that's fine. They can't go any further back than I do.
Well, no, I'm saying like if the only African name I'm thinking of right now is Rafiki because all I know is Disney. You could say like, Rafiki Johnson over in Senegal is like a cousin of mine.
I got you. So if okay.
And
then maybe if Rafiki's
you go over there and he was like, oh yeah, well guess what? We've got your records up until whatever. I don't know.
That's possible, I guess.
They might not have been as record keepy too. Yeah. I don't really know.
I find it. I went to Spain this summer. Mason's basketball team took a trip to Spain overseas. A lot of the colleges do it. You can do it once every 4 years. And I thought it was nice. I wasn't as overwhelmed as I thought I would be. It was my first time overseas. I've been down to like the Caribbean and Mexico and stuff like that. Never been to Europe.
Yeah.
And really, I didn't find it much different than other big cities. We went to Madrid. We went to Barcelona. We went to Valencia, which is like a beach town there. It wasn't that much different.
The big cities are big cities.
Yeah.
You go to the country and
it's
you're literally
no different.
There's no running toilet water. It gets real
some
different.
Some places, yeah, you're right. Yeah. But the weird thing was in going there is just thinking like the stuff here, you go, oh, it's, you go down to Williamsburg, it's 400, 500 years old, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
You go there and stuff they're talking about, like we went to Toledo. It's not Toledo, as you would say in Ohio. It's Toledo.
Oh, okay.
And they're talking about, oh, Toledo used to be the capital of Spain 5,000 years ago, or whatever it was. And you're just like, okay.
Oh yeah.
So this wall here outside the city. Oh yeah, that was when it was the capital. It's been here for that long. The remnants of it. So
yeah,
I'm like,
London's like thousands of years old.
Right, and you just kind of go, huh. A little bit different than
we are
what we have
little
here.
Wee babies on the block. And really the only thing we have that's oldish is the East Coast with the British settlements. I mean, for God's sake, Los Angeles starts in like 1900 or some junk.
Yeah, right.
Well, our version of it.
Right. Well,
Sure,
we know of it.
Kicked a couple people out of there to make it Los Angeles.
But and that's a funny argument that people talk about all the time is, oh, you kicked them off, the American Indians.
Mm-hmm.
And we look, there's no question we treated them poorly.
Yes.
But you know what?
I'm crying an Iron Eyes Cody tear right now. Yeah.
But it's no different because you go back and you actually study their history to a certain degree.
Yeah.
They were kicking other people off their land. Somebody took the land before you took it from them.
This is true. I'm with you.
That's just human history, as awful as it is, because humans are awful people for the most part. Somebody, like we learned in Spain, there is, again, in Toledo and other places that we visited, there was like mosques and Jewish synagogues. And
there are mosques and synagogues in Ohio?
Yeah. Yes. No,
get out of here.
But, and then, Catholic churches, all, big cathedrals or whatever. And it was because at different points in time, that was the ruling people in that area.
Oh, yeah.
So at some point, maybe the Moors came in, kicked some people's ass.
The Moops.
And then the other people came in and kicked their ass and they had to leave. And then eventually they stopped doing that and it's just Spain.
Yeah.
Eventually we stopped doing that here and it's just America. But every single country, no matter where you're from, the people that are there now conquered other people who had conquered people before them, who had conquered people before them. That's just the reality. So yes, while we look, because it's been here in the U.S., the last 150 years or so, 200 years that we did these awful things. 1,000 years ago, that stuff was going on all the time in Europe, where this group of people would take over this group, who would then take over this group, who would then come back for. That's just what humans did. So it sucks. I feel bad, but none of those people are around anymore.
No, it ties back to we'll all be dead. It's just a beautiful little yes. Not one shred of us lives on.
No, and nobody's gonna trace my family tree back.
No,
because I don't have one now.
You could get one of those robots that they used to sell at Toys R Us in the 80s.
A Furby?
No, Furby's way too high tech. Like the one that was just looked like if you remember Rob from the Nintendo, and he had just like the little pincer arms and the red lights for eyes, and you could
remember that.
Record his voice with a cassette. Well, that wasn't Rob.
Don't remember that. Okay.
I guess
I remember the Furby.
If you're a kid in the 80s, there were a lot of really crappy ghetto ass robots that you could pick up.
I remember that. And I remember Rock'em Sock'em robots.
See, this is a little higher tech than that.
Okay.
But still, we're talking a cassette for his audio chip, if you will.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you could go out there and you could make a Billbot, and Billbot could turn tell the story of the Rollins here on out.
I could, but there are none. After me, that's it.
But he could walk around and like treat your house right now like it's Colonial Williamsburg, and Billbot could just give tours of the place and talk about your lineage.
I'm not sure how famous that would go or how popular it would be. Probably not very much.
I would do one Billbot tour, and by the second
just
time,
to do it.
Yeah,
I would get bored. It's like Williamsburg. Once you've been, you wouldn't go on a second.
Yeah, you would see me driving home sunburnt, wearing the tricorn. I left Williamsburg.
What about you? You don't worry about I mean, you're a significantly younger guy than I am.
Oh, I ain't that young, man.
You're not 40 yet, are you?
I'm getting there. I'm close.
But you're not. So you got plenty of time.
I got 30 carefree months just gallivant. Yeah.
Okay.
Before the big 4.
I mean, I started dating my current girlfriend. I was 34. So I thought
before. How old are you now?
I'm 47. I just turned 47 in July.
Okay. Wow, you've been with her a
long time.
Yeah.
It's like being married.
It is. Minus the tax breaks. So get married.
Exactly. But so she was 39 because she's 3 years older than me.
Okay.
At the time. So no, 37 because I was 34. Yeah. So she was 37, already had 2 kids. So it was kind of like, you know, at the time you start dating, you're not thinking of those things then.
Yeah.
I didn't think the first 2 dates that we went on, gosh, 13 years later, I'm going to be like, oh,
you didn't kiss her and think you represent the death of the Roland clan.
Right. And I don't think about it that way. Look, trust me, I'm perfectly happy.
Mm-hmm.
There are just those things that click in your head every now and then. You go, God, this is it. When I'm dead, that's it. It's done. It's over. It's finished.
She just goes to sleep each night and pictures like a family tree being bulldozed, and she smiles to herself.
Maybe. I mean, because again, she's got the 2 daughters, so somebody will be tracing it back. If they get married and have kids, then that line continues. But they're not going to look back. They're going to look back and be like, their tree will be mom and their dad.
You need to start giving them a lot of money.
There's not going to be that little side branch that says, oh yeah, and this guy was in our lives for
you need
however
to be
many
rich
years.
Uncle Bill real fast.
Yeah, that's not going to happen unless I hit the lottery. And if I hit the lottery, maybe I start my own family at that point then.
Oh, that's
maybe I just like buy kids so I can have a family tree.
Yeah. If you get
no, wait. Actually, how far are you into season 2?
Oh, I saw the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh, you've seen it?
Yeah.
So maybe I just go kill somebody. And
you kill a preacher and steal his kid after killing his wife.
That's right.
1 year ago.
Yeah, that's the last episode I watched. So we can't talk about Ozark any further than that.
Oh,
and we probably shouldn't talk about it anyway because people will be very angry with us.
Well, there's the great Burt Reynolds cameo. No, that is not a thing. I mean, if I were stupid rich, I would demand that the seed lived on. I would be like genetic breeding program about it. Are you kidding me? I would like get one of the whoever the unmarried Williams sister is. Oh. She would have one of my kids, and I would be like, "You are the strong one." And then I would get
you do it like G. Gordon Liddy, but he's a selective breeding like he did.
Oh, completely. Except I wouldn't have like the weird white supremacist underpinning of the Liddy breeding program. Yeah. No, I would get me a Williams kid. Who else could I get? You probably have a movie star kid. You know, get someone. Salma Hayek, sadly, is a little too old and too married, but Salma Hayek would be great as a mother, especially if I could tap in for breastfeeding now and again. That would be fun. Maybe like a WNBA star of some sort, like a corn-fed 6'8"er.
Yeah, maybe.
Again, I don't have to have that. Would look ridiculous. That would be like a little schnauzer mounting a shepherd. But you could just do it in a petri dish. They have that science now, and I could just kind of mail out my sperm the way like Blue Apron mails out food.
There you go.
And I just be like, crack this vial, sit on it, and 9 months later, the baby seeds will hatch. So I would, if I had just infinite funds, I would get weird with it. I would legit do the G. Gordon Liddy breeding program, and I would get my little.
Although we have to say for G. Gordon, he just had the one wife. It just
he did.
He always talked about how he wanted to marry her.
What did he? Was she always referred to as Mrs. Liddy on air?
So,
It was never by any sort of name. It was just Mrs. Liddy.
Yeah. But he used to talk about how she was of strong stock.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was weird to refer your wife.
Because he was weird into, because I was a weird little kid too who got into history. It's hilarious. I was obsessed with history when I was a kid.
Right.
But I don't research my genealogy for a damn. But, you know, when I was a little kid, I think legit every little boy has the let's learn about Hitler phase. At least my shrink tells me as much. So
your shrink says that every little boy. I don't remember going through that phase. I got news for you.
I was like, I was weirdly into just World War II crap in general. I won't just say Hitler. I also like the airplanes.
Okay.
So, you know, but
I mean, I get that.
And hurricanes.
Yeah, I get that. I would get into the the
57
history
Mustangs.
part of it, but I would not get into like.
Well,
just,
I was
just like focusing in on.
I was
Hitler.
fascinated. I didn't like the Jew killing part because even as a kid, I was
you knew
like,
you were 1/16 Jewish.
yeah,
So
I could smell it on myself. No, I had Jewish friends. I never really got the anti-Semitic thing. Once they went on to better colleges than me, I understood it a little. No, but because I was learning about my own ADD and ADHD at the time,
right.
and I was reading about him, and I was like, this guy's an ADD jackass, and he like ran a country, admittedly into the ground.
You're like, I could do that.
Yeah, I was like, look, what he did was awful, but look how much he got done. Like that was
failed painter. That's what he was.
He really, exactly.
I know,
he had a career turn. Like there's a lot you can learn.
How different would it be if they
Kick out the bad
just
stuff.
if those
if he could,
highfalutin jokers in France had said, yes, you can be part of our little
if he could just draw a damn human face
commune of painters,
we wouldn't have been in this mess.
That's right.
I mean, no joking, the US would be unrecognizable without World War II. We might to this day be Europe's bitch because it was on the back of those wars that we really stepped into the world power vacuum. Before that, it was the old school. Europe ran everything. World War I guess, was the start of it, where like we just walked in the last year or so.
Yeah, we like showed up at the end. We're like, okay,
what do we miss? Y'all need help around here.
The guy taking the credit, you get the routes on. He comes into the fourth quarter and gets that last 1 yard touchdown run. He's out there spiking the ball in the end zone, like, yeah, look what I did. Yeah, it was 35-10.
Was it the fourth Bills loss? And I'm trying to remember if it was the defender or the offensive lineman's name, who was Don Beebe.
Oh, who ran down Leon Lett, I believe it was.
The fat guy just running with the ball
and
under his
knocks
arm.
it out. And
like the 1 yard line, he punches it out. Can you imagine the guy's like, woo, I prevented a total route.
Yeah.
Over,
you lost 52-4. We don't even know how you got 4 because they don't give 4 in football, but that's how bad you lost.
Oh, God. Yeah. You got those 2 safeties.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So I was, that was what I read up on. I don't know why we were on the subject of one Adolf Hitler. We should probably tiptoe away if we know what's good for us. Do you remember why I was talking about him?
Why we were talking about Hitler?
I was just saying kids were into Hitler.
Yeah, you said your shrink said that.
Yeah, I admitted that. I was like, I don't know why I had a fascination with the man. And she was like, don't worry, a lot of boys have a Hitler face. I was like, whew, because I had my fire face as well. So I'm hitting all the notes. I really should be shooting up a movie theater right now, but there's no Batman film, so everyone's safe.
Thank God that's not going on.
And I'm out of my red hair dye. So you're good. I have a live read to do, and then we can do more show.
Oh.
Are you ready?
We probably should have done that about an hour ago.
What? What? You don't think we're going to retain people after 90 minutes?
Deep into the show.
Yeah. After we go deep with the Hitler?
Perfect place to put an ad is right after Hitler talk. It always wins over the sponsors.
Yes. Well, that was Pat Goss's first show, Hitler Talk. And then that bombed and he went with car talk.
Yeah. Right.
So we're here today to talk about Mack Weldon. The Mack Weldon underwear.
Sounds delightful.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to go on a little bit about Mack Weldon underwear. I'm doing the Bill Burr thing. You were telling me.
That's right. Is Mack Weldon? That's not Little Mac from Mike Tyson's Punch Out, is it?
No,
he didn't grow up. He didn't grow up to do an underwear line.
He did not have a last name. So had this just been Little Mac underwear, you might have been onto something.
And I'd probably be buying it.
So the gist with this Mack Weldon underwear is, you know what? I'm going to agree to this. Underwear is a pain in the ass to buy.
Fair.
I agree for the following reasons. One, I don't know about you, Bill. I always act like my current underwear sucks, but I almost don't know how to acquire it. Like I never go to Target and think underwear.
Mm-hmm.
I never go to Costco and think underwear.
Mm-hmm.
Like I rally.
You go to Victoria's Secret to think underwear.
Exactly. Yes. And God, do they make a brassiere that cups my bosom? But I just silently rage at it. Like it's the same thing as like what I feel about Trump, like the country burning. Like I never think my underwear is garbage and I can drive with my adult salary 5 minutes down the road and buy all the
new
underwear I want.
Right,
Yeah, I
course.
just pull it out of the drawer and I'm like, who would get me this? And it's just me.
Right.
It's just the John of yesteryear who got himself bad underwear. So Mack Weldon designs their fancy underwear from scratch. They made their own fabrics and things like that. I guess the big deal is that it's like really good fabrics. Again, I like a nice underwear because I have like chubby toddler thighs.
Mhm.
I'm not well built. Like if we just have to state it bluntly, I've got these fat little thighs and the boxers kind of like run up on me
Mhm.
and form like a ghetto brief. Like they form like sumo underwear
Yeah, it's never
under my
comfortable.
shorts. Yeah. And if I get sweaty, I can get like I don't want to get the women too wet, but I can
Chafing.
yeah, I can get chafing. I can get like zits on the inside of my thighs. It's just all repugnant. And I've lately taken to using an antimicrobial soap to curb that.
Sure.
You know what? These guys legit have an antimicrobial underwear. Your underwear has like, I don't know if it's antibiotic juice smeared in it, some sort of technology, probably called from the space program.
Probably right.
Like Neil Armstrong.
This underwear sounds like it's from the future. Like it should be hanging out with your robots with the laser eyes.
Yeah, like the Billbot is going to be wearing Mack Weldon underwear.
Perfect.
As he gives a tour of the empty house.
That's
saying,
right.
Kids would go here. So they have a website. I believe Mack Weldon is like a website kind of. Is it a subscription service? Did the host read the copy this far? You know what? We're going to Mack Weldon right now. We're going to Mack Weldon. Then we're going to talk about some show I saw that was amazing. But right now, MackWeldon.com.
I'm going to go there as well and
Go
see
there.
if I can.
Signature softness. Okay, this is good looking underwear. There's good looking men here. If I looked like these men, you know what, Bill? If we looked like these men, kids would not be a problem. We would have 8 of them by 9 women.
There you
That's
go.
what I'm saying. You can order all their stuff online. It is not a subscription service that would entail like you had a soiling problem of some sort. You know what I mean? Like if you needed an underwear of the month club, that's a bad thing. Oh God, they have long underwear. I might do this because
that's pretty cool.
That's how I'm going to get around this riding up problem. I am going to get underwear that goes past my ankles, so no one's going to call me a whore in the Amish community anymore. And
it's always a problem.
Yeah, so it is for this man, sir. Go to MackWeldon.com, enter promo code PAPA, PAPA. 20% off your first order.
Wait, what is that?
PAPA for
all right.
Papa. MackWeldon.com. They've got a lot of social media too. There's an Instagram, a Facebook, and a Twitter. All of it Mack Weldon, except for the Facebook, which is Mack Weldon Underwear. Apparently, there is some dick squatting on that sweet Mack Weldon site who thinks he has a right to it just because his name was Mack Weldon. What human garbage. But yeah, MackWeldon.com. Papa.
Awesome.
PAPA. I'm going to be buying a pair of that because they didn't hook me up with anything free.
Various sizes and colors and everything.
I'm going to go with whatever their extra largest is and whatever the shortest leg is.
You got the you're one of those guys? Like the
I'm
hip
like
huggers?
I'm like a 40
huggers?
I'm like a 40 waist 20-inch inseam type guy. That's just my build.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm built like a golf cart, pretty much. It's not a handsome body, but it gets me through the day.
There you go.
MackWeldon.com.
Love it.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Everyone do it.
Next time I'm in here, I'll see if I have my Mack Weldon underwear on.
We'll just do the show in our Mack Weldon underwear.
I'm okay with that.
I'm going to have the long pants. Fine
by me.
I'm going to look like a wrestler circa 1964. Just long to the ground pants, no shirt. That's how we compete. Yeah.
Drums.
Yeah, coming up with an idea. I'm inventing this thing. It's called WrestleMania. In 20 years, it's going to be huge.
It's going to be big.
Yeah,
You'll
use
see.
that promo code. If you don't use it, I don't get credit. And if at least 5 people don't buy this underwear, they're going to kill my family. All right, I didn't want to say it.
Sounds like the cartel maybe after.
Yeah, if you ever saw
the Mack Weldon cartel.
Yes, if you ever saw, I was going to say The Usual Suspects where they kill Kaiser Soze's family, but you're right. No, it's literally the Ozark cartel that has Jason Bateman and the delightful Laura Linney held so hostage. Get me those 5 papas, people. 5 PAPA.
That's all you need.
That's it.
Then we'll have to
MacWeldon.com.
launder money some other way.
That's it. I don't have to make a riverboat casino. I just need 5 people to go to MacWeldon.com and buying underwear using the Papa promo code. And that's it. I'm scot-free. I don't have to deal with that evil bitch lawyer from Chicago anymore whose
Helen.
kids don't know she smokes. Helen. Is that
Helen.
it?
That's her name. Helen.
Helen needs a dick. Can't we just agree? That would, I think,
I mean,
cheer up her disposition something good.
she's probably in the same, although not quite as bad off as Jason Bateman's character in Ozark. She's probably wed to that cartel as well, and she's probably very nervous that they would whack her kids just as easily if she screwed up.
I suppose, yeah.
So that's probably why she's a little on edge.
I like that type A bitch personality that Helen is rocking. Like, she would do horrible things during a quickie to get you done in 30 seconds. She would be like, are you into digital stimulation of the prostate? You're like, no. Well, that'll make you finish faster. So here's 2 in your shine box.
So here's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, we're past the 10-minute mark. So now I get to swear a lot. Or I'm sorry, the 1 hour mark.
Oh, okay.
So we can swear all the fucking time. Ooh, the big man said a big bad word.
I wish I had known that. I wouldn't have been
it's okay.
dropping so many.
I can bleep you real easily. I can go back and
I hate to have you do
I
that.
made a note. Yeah, it is 30 seconds of exhausting labor, but we'll get through it together. Yeah, I like that Ozark, and I would definitely give it to Helen or Ellen, whatever her name is.
Helen.
Yeah.
It's Wendy Bird. That's Laura Linney.
Okay. I am so bad with character names. Like
Marty Bird is Jason Bateman.
I do remember their birds.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fan of Lawrence Bird.
Charlotte is their daughter.
Charlotte Bird, yes. Charlotte's 18 now, so all impure thoughts are washed away.
Oh, she is?
I think so.
Like the actress or the character?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, she plays like a 16-year-old, so that part's not good. But if you're like, oh, Charlotte, she's looking very statuesque. She's, I believe, 19 now. So
okay,
you're all good.
And then there's the Longmires, right? Or Langmires. Sorry, Langmires.
The Langmires are the hillbillies?
Yes.
Okay.
That's like Ruth, the blonde,
yes,
blonde, and then Wyatt and
Three. Yes, they stole the name
then the
from
dad, and
the naming convention from Married with Children, where I believe one of the kids was named Seven or something like that. Another hillbilly. So maybe hillbillies really do just give their children numbers.
Who's that? It's my third. What's his name? Three.
Okay.
Yeah.
What am I? Some math Jew? I can't remember that.
It's a great show, but it's fascinating to me. Like Jason Bateman, my first memory of Jason Bateman on a TV show was, and this predates you, Silver Spoon.
Here we are, face to face, a couple of silver spoons. That's all I remember.
Wow, that's pretty good. Little Ricky Schroeder.
Yes.
Started on that show.
Ricky, I love that.
Little Ricky Schroeder. But Jason Bateman was also...
Was he the poor boy?
He was the neighbor that was always going over and getting into trouble.
No kidding.
That was Jason Bateman. That's the first time that I remember seeing and remembering Jason Bateman was on Silver Spoon.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now he's on.
I remember Jason Bateman as something of, I don't want to say like the Ted McGinley, like this is when you know the shark is getting jumped type guy.
Okay.
But he was always of the second/bad movie. Like, was he not Teen Wolf 2? He was.
Ooh,
I believe he was.
I don't know. Let me hold on. Keep talking. I'll look.
I believe he was not only,
because if he was Teen Wolf 2, that's terrible.
I believe he's Teen Wolf 2, and it was a bad pun spelling, right? Wasn't it Teen Wolf TOO? Did I go 2 for 2 here?
I have no idea. Let me.
I'm gonna spell that TOO for TOO.
Filmography. Let's look
Teen
this
Wolf
up.
2. I'm Googling it right now.
But he did. I mean, but he's done all this great stuff. I mean, Arrested Development, fantastic, right? I mean, it's just,
it was, yeah. I'm dealing. Oh yeah, that is Jason Bateman as Teen Wolf 2, and it is spelled TOO.
Oh, good for you.
Oh,
good for you knowing that.
What is that? Did I just Lee Harvey Oswald 2 headshot?
Impressive.
That thing? Yes, I did.
That is impressive.
Not only that, he is the child of your Seth Brundle, aka Brundlefly. He is in The Fly 2, and he is the Fly in Fly 2. So to me, he was just.
You're right. You have nailed it. You have nailed it.
He was the bad sequel engine.
You are correct.
Yeah.
That is amazing. I'm going back through and seeing if there's anything else that I go, eh. Oh yeah, I remember him from in Valerie, the TV series.
Thought you were gonna say
That
the
was late
porno.
80s. No, no, no. Yeah, there it is. Teen Wolf 2. Oh, that's
Teen
terrible.
Wolf 2 and The Fly 2, both horrendous sequels to great movies. The Fly, an all-timer for me. Teen Wolf, I remember loving the shit out of that as a kid. I don't know if it's great or not, but when he shakes up the beer, Michael J. Fox, and bites it as a wolf.
Yes,
If
yes,
you think stupid, starting to be an alcoholic 13-year-old John didn't chip a tooth, and cut up a gum or two, pulling that one. You don't know me well, Billiam. You don't know me at all.
That's terrible. I totally blank. So he went from really bad.
Well, he was
sequels.
to be the pitied child in the family because Justine
was
on Family Ties.
Right, of course.
And I remember, like, as a kid, I wanted to, like, Justine was one of my first crushes.
Sure.
Yeah. And she banging that scummy guy. Was his name Nick? He looked kind of like George Michael.
Oh, on the show?
Yeah. He had, like, the poofy 80s hair.
Skippy was always after her, but...
Skippy was sniffing around that ass, but he couldn't get any.
Right.
Big Dick Nick was laying the pipe.
Right.
I forgot about Skippy. What a little cuck Skippy was.
Yeah, but see, I'm looking through all the stuff, and he really started coming back, I guess, Dodgeball.
Yes, host of the Ocho.
Yeah. I mean, when he was Pepper Brooks and Dodgeball. And then you're like, okay, he's back. And it kind of went from there. So, I mean, since then, he's had some pretty good spots. Some pretty good
he's
movies.
been on fire since. And Justine,
she's gone.
Yeah.
Completely gone.
I bumped into her at TJ Maxx the other day. Said, what's up?
Smoking Aces. He was in that. Which is pretty good. He was in Juno.
Oh, God. He played a great asshole in Juno.
Yeah.
Oh, he was the biggest piece of shit in Juno.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Pretty funny movie.
He was the stunt nipples for Mila Kunis. No, I'm sorry.
Don't believe that's correct. But
okay, he was not the stunt areolas for Mila Kunis.
But
I always hated that.
He had Couples Retreat again. Pretty funny. He was in that.
Oh, that had that Malin Ackerman who's like never gotten huge. She's just naked and everything.
Maybe.
And like she has the foreign name, so you want to think she's sexier than she is.
I'll have to go with you on that one.
Yeah, Malin Ackerman. I think that's the name. She's naked in a lot of stuff, and I applaud that.
The Switch with Jennifer Aniston, again, not a 10, but had some pretty good moments in it. Not bad.
Is that where they switch bodies or something like that?
No. Where he's in love with her. It doesn't work out, but she's trying to get pregnant, and he ends up actually leaving his sample and something for her. She like had it there. And so he ends up switching his DNA into what was supposed to be somebody else's DNA. And then they find out years later. It's actually not bad. I'm doing a terrible job.
I mean, that sounds like a horrific thing to base a comedy around.
It's actually pretty funny. But anyway, Horrible Bosses.
Oh, yeah. I enjoy Horrible Bosses.
First one, good. Second one,
I've watched
dropping back into
once.
Teen Wolf 2 range again. Not horrible, but not great.
Do you think they're going to make a third one with Kevin Spacey?
I certainly hope not.
His last movie made legit $250, I think.
I saw that.
Guess can people.
He was a voiceover in Zootopia.
No, his career he's absolute
amazing.
A-list. Do you know that I have a really circumspect
Circumcised one?
I don't know. I don't even think I meant the right word I used right now.
Circumspect, yes.
I have a weird circuitous, I might have meant circuitous, cuticle. I have a weird in with the Bateman clan.
Really?
Yes. Do
tell, because then I'll see if I won't be able to top it. But I'll tell you my only connection to Hollywood.
If I ever do anything of merit, this is how I am going to get it to Jason Bateman. My improv teacher, who's been on the show a couple times, Sean Westfall.
We talked about,
Yeah, Sean Westfall, his very first improv teacher was the progenitor of Clan Bateman, whoever their dad is.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume it's a J name, given that they are Jason and Justine. Maybe he's Justice Bateman, something like that.
Possible.
Yeah, he was a theater teacher, an improv teacher for years to my dude.
That's cool.
So yeah.
So you're like 1 degree of separation.
Exactly. By vampire law, if we're going by what I watched on True Blood, he's kind of like my granddad. So there you go.
That
If improv is vampirism,
seems easy enough. Alex Winter.
Alex Winter. Who is this?
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh,
the other guy,
yes,
not Keanu. The other guy,
Matrix. Yeah,
yeah.
Alex Winter. Okay,
he's Bill of Bill and Ted.
Don't sleep on the Lost Boys, sir.
Oh yes, another.
There you
love
go.
that movie. He is
Jason Bateman in Lost Boys too. No, I made that up.
Pretty funny. One of my best friends, is his cousin.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Is it Chris Jolly?
He's been to, no, it's
Chris
not.
Jolly Winter.
Nobody you've met.
Oh.
The last name's not even the same, but they've been to family functions, weddings. That, hey, look, it's Bill from Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
Alex Winter's there. So if I ever made it in Hollywood, I could say, it's because I have a connection to Alex Winter. I never will, so it doesn't matter. But yes, I bet if I really, really, really pushed it,
yeah,
I could probably get Alex Winter to like maybe do a call-in for us at some point.
Oh God, we have to do that.
But
isn't Bill and Ted 3 coming out? I don't know. I don't have any guests on the show.
If it is coming out, I know they've talked about it. If they do it, I will do my level best to get Bill of Bill and Ted to come on. And
that would be fantastic because I'm not exaggerating. I think 4 guests in the history of this show on the show. I just don't get guests. I know that is great for exposure. I'm really stupid when it comes to that, like self-promotion. But I guess I was warped by the fact when I was a kid and I listened to Don and Mike.
Mm-hmm.
The only time I would turn off Don and Mike is when they went from just bullshitting with each other and having fun in studio.
Yeah, to having somebody on to promote something.
Yeah, being fucking lick spittles for some like Hollywood Z-lister. And like they were both so obsequious about her. Obsequious. How the fuck you pronounce that one? I overreached. Suck my cock world. Yeah, they both were just big on like wanting to kiss the star's ass. And I get it because I'd be the same way. Why would you want to have someone on your show to motherfuck them?
Right. Well, of course.
But I wouldn't want him on the show either.
If we did get him on, we definitely have to be nice.
Oh, I wouldn't. Yeah,
because it would be a huge family favor.
How big's your cock, Papa Boo?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, we wouldn't be able to do anything like that. But yeah, we could try. We could try to get him on.
Okay,
I can make a call or two. And,
you know
and
what?
Just say, hey, when was the last time you saw Alex at a funeral or a wedding?
Guest number 5. Guest number 5.
Why not?
Alex Winter.
He might be able to tell us some good Keanu Reeves, stories.
I would hope because like everything I've ever learned about Keanu Reeves is that he's like this great person. He's like this ageless Canadian wonder. But there's never any stories about him. Yeah, like deep dicking some chick and impregnating her and just leaving. It's always like there was some Reddit thread on people talking about having met him, and
he's just a nice guy.
Yeah, like when he was touring with,
kind of refreshing, I guess.
Well, some guy posted, like, I was a kid when he was touring with his band, and I immediately piped up, "You mean Dog Star?"
Oh, nice. Well done.
So he was, I guess his mom was there to try to get dicked by Keanu. Like, she was seeing the performance.
Oh, my God.
And the kids were just running around and somehow got backstage or something, and they came upon Keanu.
Well, I can't imagine Dog Star has very much security.
This is true. Yes, exactly. As big as he was even back then. Although he wasn't Matrix level big for Dog Star. But he was still huge.
No, I mean, it was probably right after this or the Replacements. Wasn't he in the Replacements? Wasn't he the quarterback?
Oh, or is that, what was his name there? Johnny something or other.
Remember.
That's where I'm exposed for not having seen the Replacements.
Oh, okay.
Pull it. He had a horrible name, like
Johnny Falco or something. Was it?
Falco? Yeah.
Shane Falco. Shane Falco. I got it. I got it.
Son of Edie.
I think that's it.
No,
I'm probably wrong.
100%.
I'm probably wrong, and somebody out there's going, "You fucking moron."
No, it's 100%. I will fucking. You can take off my pinky, Yakuza style, if it's not Shane Falco. And I've never seen that movie start to finish. I've seen 5 goddamn minutes of it at most, and I fucking love Gene Hackman, and I've still not done the Replacements. And it's about the goddamn Redskins. That's how bad I think the Replacements is.
Yeah. Well, except they're based in Baltimore.
Was that it?
Well, in the movie, they filmed everything at Baltimore Stadium.
Okay, but they are the Washington team.
I don't know what they're called in it, to be honest with you. I don't remember. It's definitely filmed in Baltimore.
Did the team have a mild racial slur for a name?
I don't believe so.
Not okay.
I don't remember what they were called, actually.
Just
trying to pull up his. I'm vamping.
They got
very
very technical with it. They were just the Washington Puerto Ricans. It was nothing offensive, but they wanted to play it close to
just to make sure that they knew exactly what was going on there.
Yeah, so you wouldn't think that it was not the Redskins.
By the way, I know you're a Redskins fan.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you see where the DC mayor
against my will?
What do you mean against your will?
Horrible team. What do you want me to say? I'm not big on the name thing. I know I somewhat lean left, but the name thing I think is a manufactured outrage where the average Native American is like, yeah, Redskins just like a term for us. And then people are like, no, that's the new N-word for you people. And then some of them bid on that. And the rest of them are like, nah, it's just get us better schools here.
Yeah.
Our communities are horrible. How about we do that?
By the way, looking at his IMDb page,
yeah,
Bill and Ted Face the Music. So it's coming.
I Twitter followed whoever the hell that wrote either 1 or 1 and 2.
Okay.
Because he kept going on when Judd Apatow put out that Gary Shandling film a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
He kept going on about how big Gary was in his life, getting him first noticed. So I was tweeting this guy daily for like 2 weeks. Okay. I was like, how about a follow? How about you notice me? And he kept going on about how he loved helping people out. And I just wasn't on the radar. And then I was like, well, you know what? Wild Stallions sucks. And I unfollowed him.
Yeah, it was Shane Falco.
Shane Falco, I told you.
It gets 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb.
Both of these pinkies are safe today.
So far.
Till I go to the petting zoo. And decide to tease a goat.
It doesn't say what their name was in the little summary.
They were just called the Washington football team.
Yeah, maybe.
No, you wanted to talk to me about the Redskins.
No, just because all this time, the Redskins like, gotta change the name. DC Council like, no, you can't come back. You can't change the name.
Yeah, is that where we are currently? That they are not allowed in DC.
Oh no, now the DC mayor is like, I think we can get past the name thing.
Okay,
we'd like to bring you back.
Because for the people that aren't from DC, the Skins for a long time they don't play inside DC. They are like 20 miles outside the city.
That's since the late 90s when Jack Kent Cooke moved him out to FedEx in Landover, Maryland. Raljon, Maryland, technically.
Turlet, which is a toilet of an area.
Of course, is a made-up city.
What's it called again?
Raljon. Because that's the combination of his 2 sons' names.
Oh, God, that is some fuck you money right there. I'm going to invent a city for the football team I own to play in.
Pretty much.
Because I'm building a stadium
and I'm naming it after both my kids. Yep. Wow. That's exactly how it went down.
Good for him.
So, yeah.
So he had one kid named Rauj and another named An.
No, I think it was Raljon.
Raljon. Okay.
Yeah, because that's his son.
Oh, okay. 10th caller to call me. Bill just gave me the number of his son.
Had that for a while.
Give him the phrase that pays.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so they haven't been in the city forever, and for the longest time, I believe every mayor has kind of been like, look, until you change the name from Redskins, you cannot talk about building a new stadium back there.
And I'm not going to say it's been every mayor because wasn't Marion Barry mayor for a while and he didn't give a fuck. He wouldn't have cared. He would have gladly brought them back. I think it's just been.
He insisted the team be called the Mayor Crack Rock Hookers.
Right.
That was it.
I think it's just was it Bowser's the mayor now, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
It was Sharon Pratt Kelly for a while had said it, and now it's Mariel Bowser.
Bowser, no. It's the Super Mario villain.
Yeah,
Bowser. And Bowser shot on up.
Yeah. I think she had said a couple years ago, no, we can't do this. If you're going to build a stadium on federal, DC land or whatever, we're not going to allow this. And now it's kind of like they don't care. Suddenly, it's not a big deal anymore. And they're like, yeah, we'll go ahead and bring it back.
The only condition I give a shit about is you get rid of Snyder.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
I legit, you could fucking call the team the DC Greeks or hairy pieces of shit. If you got rid of Snyder.
It's really long to put on a graphic.
Yeah, but the logo is amazing. The mascot, whoo.
But yeah, so she was at their, I guess, welcome back luncheon, or her and Snyder were at something the other day,
Mhm.
and she was like, "Yeah, we're still not in favor of the name, but it's no longer a her." It means basically Snyder looked at you and said, "If you want us back, I ain't changing it. So your call.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?" He basically just whipped it out, put it on the table, said, "I'll go to Northern Virginia because they don't give a fuck. They don't care.
Oh yeah.
Northern Virginia, all those little people will run around and scream and shout, and it won't matter because they'll still put the stadium wherever I want it to."
Yeah, it's not the biggest deal to me because I don't live in the city.
Right, I don't
Whether or
care.
not they play there.
You know what? I'd rather have him in the city. I don't want him in Northern Virginia because I don't want the traffic.
I'm with
I'm
you
not
there.
going to the game anyway. Put it downtown. I don't care. Leave it at FedEx. Don't care. I don't go.
That was
It doesn't
always
matter.
like a random shitty prize I would win once or twice a year. I would get a business call on Sunday, not even factoring in that there might be a game nearby.
Right.
And I would have to go down $4.95, and
Oh,
suddenly I was like,
no.
why does it look like a bomb threat? And then you're like, oh,
Well, how
fuck
many
the rest of the place.
drunk dummies did you get calling? Be like, I locked my keys in my car. I'm at FedEx.
I wish I had that kind of.
Yeah?
No, I don't. I'm not far enough. My SEO doesn't extend out there all that much.
Nice term.
Yes, my search engine optimization. I don't, mine is mostly Northern Virginia, but
Yeah.
I would have customers like slumlords, shall we say, that would buy property in Fairfax and also buy it out there. And there
Right.
were times where I'd be like, I can make Sunday. And that guy didn't have an excuse. Like, why the fuck you
Right.
live next to the stadium?
Right.
Why would you inflict this upon me?
What's the dumbest thing you've ever seen somebody do as far as locking keys in? And it could be car, it could be house. It could be, what's the most ridiculous job that you've gone to? Like, how the hell?
Well, I
did
don't
you
know if
do
there's
this?
much of a background story that's going to blow my mind where, no one was like, oh, there's a kite, and then locked their, door behind them accidentally. Nothing that stupid, but I feel like a superhero every time I get like a kid, like if there's a sleeping baby in the car.
Oh, that's got to be some scary stuff, though.
Yeah, because I have to gauge the temperature. Like if it's too hot, I'm like, look, dude, like
Your baby's
saving
toast.
window cost is not worth it. I'm like, yeah, if you want your fucking kid to go to the regular kids school, fucking knock out that window right now.
Yeah.
Like it's not worth it. Fortunately, every time I've had a baby call, they're in the shade or they're in a garage, and I'm like, well, is the engine on? Because your baby might not wake up.
Right.
Again, see the fucking hammer to window method. But yeah, I've gotten a couple locked babies out of cars and they never woke up. That was always they were asleep.
I thought you were like
yeah.
And they were dead.
And my carbon monoxide method, picking the lock. No, they that came out of my mouth very poorly.
Yeah.
You're right, Bill. No, they would be napping and the mom was mildly freaked out, but they were like, oh, it's like 65 degrees. Like if you're gonna lock your baby in a car, this is a great temperature for it. And I would pop it and like they wouldn't even wake up for the alarm and shit like that. And then you get your baby back.
There you go.
I should charge a little more for the next baby lockout.
You should.
Yeah, because that's like legit your progeny.
Yeah, you're screwed at that point.
Yeah.
How about, do you do any house stuff or is it mainly car stuff?
Oh, no, all the time. House shit. Yeah.
Have you ever gotten in a situation like, has anybody ever locked themselves out? And I would think it's less and less now as far as being locked out of your house. Like you have the garage door. So that's on a code.
Yes.
And then inside, that's to lift up like the regular garage door. And then
You
we
have
have the door into the house, also on a keypad.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want the
sons of
kids
bitches are running me out of business.
Well, we didn't want the kids to be carrying keys with them to school because they'd lose them because they're kids. So all you gotta do is remember a 4-digit code. You can get in the house.
Yeah. See, in the old days, people like you would have been my bread and butter.
Well, we were
Every lost
latchkey kids. Right.
I get to change the locks and charge a couple $100 for it. And it would have been sweet.
Yeah, we wouldn't have changed the locks. We would have just gone and gotten another.
You would have just
key
winged
made.
it. Yeah.
We'd be like, it's fine.
So
Don't worry about it. You probably threw it in the sewer. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no one's. I mean, I see lots of weird things being invited into people's homes.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I mean.
I've seen,
Okay,
like,
that's where I want to go.
I've seen like thousands of houses at this point,
Right.
and talked to a ton of people. Like
Yeah.
I've really seen a cross section. Yeah, the best thing I ever saw. There's this pretty decent looking army chick. She was like, I think military, but she was just kind of like had her hair like up for the day, kind of in curlers and crap.
Right. Curlers. That's an old reference.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Curlers.
she wasn't like from the 50s. She was a black girl, so she just kind of had her hair up for the day.
Oh, she's getting her hair did then. Okay,
You pretty much,
I
yeah,
got you.
yeah.
All
Like
right.
I've the occasional black girlfriends I had, you crash over, and sometimes like it's just like the hair is in a bonnet type shit for the night. You're like, I'm not getting pussy tonight, am I?
Just leave the bonnet on.
Yeah, and so she kind of had like the hair up bonnet type shit going, but like I showed up and she had, I think I've talked about this on air before. She had like a copy of The Abyss on DVD. I'm like, Cameron, nice. I'm not, going deep in his works. And then just lying out was like a big bag of weed and a vibrator. And I'm like, this bitch is having quite a day before I got here.
It's quite the combination there.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that is a
maybe she's having back problems, and it was for her back.
Yeah, really. I mean, it was one of the. It wasn't the insertable type. It was that huge, like, looks like a Morning Star mace type thing.
Yeah, so that might have been what was going on.
Maybe, yeah, she might have used it for legit
Who
stuff.
knows?
But yeah, she seemed like a good girl. I was like, yeah, cool. Sadly, we didn't hit it off despite the vibe. Well, we did actually. We talked a little bit afterwards. I just never really pulled the trigger. And I'm very weird about.
Yeah, that's, you never know when you're doing a business thing like that.
Yeah,
you don't know.
Well, especially me. It's like, hey, remember me? I'm the guy that has your address and can break into shit. What's up? Like,
good point.
There's a weird overtone to being a locksmith. Like, remember how I got into your house and didn't set off the alarm? You don't have to say yes to this date invitation, but
yeah, that
I also own chloroform.
Yeah, that would be, and a shovel.
Yeah, exactly.
And a funeral home.
Yeah. I have seen Ozone.
that would be
not my first rodeo.
I hadn't thought about that. That I guess people just have to be very, very trusting that you're not. Well, it's just like taking an Uber or a Lyft or anything like that. I've never ever myself gotten an Uber because I don't know. I just feel like I don't want people knowing where I live. I don't want them to be able to drop me off and be able to scope out what's going on at my house.
Yeah, if you use it in the city, just get dumped off at some other location.
Well, right, but I live in the suburbs. Yeah. So what if I go out and not, I don't anymore because these days are behind me, but what if I went and had one too many at the bar and said, okay, I'm going to leave my car here. I'm going to get an Uber and you drive me home and here's my house. Well, and now you
give them your neighbor's address. That way they fucking kill your neighbors.
Your neighbor instead.
Yeah, give them the address of some people you hate.
I guess that's true. But then you have to do that awkward thing of, okay, see you later.
Oh.
No, I don't need you to watch me walk up to my door.
I don't think it's like your mom dropping you at the mall to make sure you walk in.
I don't know.
You settle up and you get out the door.
I told you I'm a conspiracy guy. I don't trust anybody. I just don't trust them.
Yeah, I don't judge you for that. Like that's smarter way to play it. Everyone's garbage in life.
Well, everybody's like, "Oh, you're so paranoid." I'm like, okay, but I'm not gonna have some Uber guy show up at my house and stab me in the middle of the night. Then.
Yeah, I guess I don't know why Uber would make you any more stabbable. Like just because that guy knows you're there, is it because you're drunk now?
Yeah, I just feel like
10 minutes later.
Yeah, maybe
like just Purge style with the mask.
Yeah, maybe might just be like, okay, well, I know this guy is not able to defend himself because he's hammered.
Okay, so I can see that.
I mean, granted, it's probably
tenuous, but I can see.
Well, it's probably much more dangerous, obviously, for women. But that's why I worry about that kind of stuff. And that's why I tell my stepdaughters all the time: you do not. It's like, oh, we'll just get an Uber. I'm like, no, don't. Well, I will come get you.
Yeah,
I don't care. And like, oh, we'll just do this. I'm like, do not do that by yourself.
No. Like being a woman in this world, as much as I might come off like a misogynist, it's just horrible and unsafe. It's just fucking the pits. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, I never get in a car. I never get an Uber, and I don't have to do rape math. You know what I mean? Like,
right. No, we don't have to worry about that kind of stuff.
I don't have to size up a guy, and I'm like, yeah, on the 1 to 10 rape flow chart, where does this gentleman land?
Right.
I don't have that in my life. Yeah, I feel bad for women. Jesus.
But they have to think about that stuff, especially again, they're 20 and 22.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, look, you still have not been out in the world. You haven't been outside of your college bubble where for the most part, people are
nothing bad has happened so far.
Nothing's going to, you grew up here in a nice area in Northern Virginia. You've gone down to safe colleges. You can't just show up somewhere in DC, go to a concert, have a one too many with your fake ID or whatever, and then just get into a random car and think that it's going to turn out okay. That's not how it works in the real world. granted, the percentages of people that do get attacked is minuscule. I understand that, but they still happen.
It happens.
And they don't have to. So don't get in the car. I mean, it's so bizarre to me. When we grew up, when you were in high school, if you went out and got hammered somewhere, would you ever get into the car with a stranger? Would you ever?
No.
If some car had pulled up alongside and said, "Hey, man, you look like you're out of sorts. You want me to give you a ride home?" You'd be like,
"Fuck no."
Right. Now we ask strangers to come get us.
Yeah, we have the app called Stranger Summon.
Get us. There is no stranger danger anymore.
No, you're completely.
That's completely bizarre to me.
They don't do great screening. Let's be honest.
No,
like they just want people making.
They just want to know if your car is less than 5 years old. For the most part, that's pretty much the screening process. Is your car old? Nope.
Are you a rapist? Yes. I mean, no. All right, we'll go.
I mean, we never, ever. If we had been downtown when I was in college, and this would have been in the early 90s, if some random person had pulled up and said, "Hey, I'm headed out to Northern Virginia myself. Would you like a ride?" We'd been like, "No,
I don't like strangers.
Get out of here, creepy. Forget it."
What if it was a very attractive woman?
No,
I would have climbed in the trunk.
I don't think so.
I was never particularly stupid when it came to women trying to dupe me on the opposite end of that.
Yeah, where
where I was like,
might have been that wasn't a
hey, handsome. You're like, all right, lie number one.
Exactly.
Continue, witch.
Like, what do you want? Yeah. What is it that you want? Just don't do all of this. What is it that you want? Yeah. Let's just cut right through the chase.
That is where bad self-esteem really helps you out. Yeah, when a girl's like, hey, like, oh, I'm smelling this a mile away. Yeah,
something's not right here. What is it that you want?
What money do you need? What's happening here?
Yeah.
Well, shit, we can call it a day because I'm hungry. I want some lunchies.
And we go along every time. I always feel bad that I'm screwing up your time here.
Yeah, I got a lot of porn to catch up on, so thank you for that. I need to punch up the outro music though, so give me a second to look for that. Bill,
did we get to everything that you wanted to cover today?
God, no.
Oh, we didn't talk about your show.
I wanted to talk about Perfect Liars.
Let's talk about your show.
No, we'll say that for another episode.
Oh, come on.
Nothing. That's ageless. Like your beauty. Ooh.
I'm not getting in your car.
Yeah, but I was so charming about it. This is my outro music, I think, right? Come on, kick in. Take a while. Loading time. Sound of silence. And more loading time. Windows 98. I hate you. There we go. All right, everyone. It's Papa's Basement. If you made it this far, you're part of an exclusive club.
Twitter,
The Elite. Yeah, at Papa's Basement.
There you go.
For me. I'm John Papa Giorgio, by the way. Hence the show's weird name. It's a podcast. You don't have to fucking introduce yourself or even do the outro.
I'd say if they found it, they probably know what
that's exactly. You're not just coming upon me. I'm not something. There you go. Unless I paid you. No.
But yeah, give you a follow on Twitter. Give me a follow on Twitter.
Yeah, at
very easy.
Bill
At Bill Rowland.
We
remember, as we talked about, ROHLAND. Don't do like the census people did back in the 1900s.
Fuck the man over
and screw up my last name. But yeah, give me a follow. Tell me you heard it. I actually do converse with people on Twitter. I enjoy it. It's fun.
Yeah. Slide into his DMs, ask about his
address. I don't know about
Give him a drive home. It's all good with Bill. He's very live and let live about it.
It's an open Twitter. It's not a private Twitter. So
exchange SSNs. It's all chill, man.
Sure.
He's a laid back dude. Yeah, Papa's Basement on iTunes. Please leave us a review if you never did that. It's really hard to do. I shouldn't say that up front. They make it fucking impossible to leave a review. Do your best. Subscribe on YouTube. That one's easy. Just youtube.com/Papa's Basement. PAPAS Basement. And we're on Stitcher, I don't know, fucking Instagram, Facebook, all that shit. Whatever. Just Google Papa's Basement. You'll find everything.
Do it.
Yeah, do it. Till the next one, we are out of here. Papa.
So let's talk about the future. Let's talk about what video means to this industry. And let's talk about how all of us, not one of us, how all of us are going to profit. I've been doing theater in San Francisco, San Diego. Not as long as you've been doing SAG and hardcore, Jack.